The midday sun scorched the highway like a furnace, heat waves rising in shimmering ripples from the asphalt. Driving alone in a sleek black government-issued SUV, Elena Whitaker kept her eyes steady on the road ahead, her right hand loosely gripping the steering wheel, her left resting near the console. As the newly appointed director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, she had just come from a high-level classified briefing with the National Security Council. Her mind was still cycling through the policy implications, discussed some routine, others earth-shaking. For Elena, the title wasn't about prestige. It was about pressure. Every decision she made rippled through a system cracking under the weight of institutional decay, racial prejudice, and unchecked authority. She had spent 22 years in the Bureau, rising not through charm but competence, and certainly not through privilege. Now, she carried the silent burden of restoring justice to a system that had grown far too comfortable with corruption. The highway stretched before her, unusually empty. No sirens, no pursuit, no cause for concern, until it came. The sudden blare of a police siren shattered the calm, the red and blue lights igniting behind her like a warning flare. Elena didn't hesitate. She turned down the radio, lowered her window 3/4 of the way, and guided her vehicle smoothly into the emergency lane. No speeding, no missed signals, no reason to be pulled over. But she knew better. In her rearview mirror, the patrol car came to a stop. The engine coughed before dying, and from the vehicle emerged a tall, broad-shouldered officer with mirrored sunglasses and a smug gait that screamed superiority. Officer Darren Koenig. He approached her window, flashlight in hand though it was midday. His body language told her everything, hand resting near his holstered sidearm, chest puffed with false authority, eyes locked not on her credentials but on her skin. License and registration. Now, no explanation. No courtesy. No probable cause. Elena moved deliberately, slowly reaching across to the passenger seat. I'm retrieving my identification and credentials, she said clearly, so there would be no misunderstanding. Her movements were practiced, measured. She had trained agents on this exact scenario. She retrieved her wallet, pulled out her license, and displayed her FBI badge. Koenig leaned in, the sneer forming before he even looked. FBI, huh, he muttered with derision. He barely glanced at the badge. Step out of the vehicle. She paused, eyes fixed on his. Calm. Steady. Under federal law, I'm entitled to know the reason for this stop and for being asked to exit my vehicle. Koenig's lips curled. His hand tightened near his weapon. I set out. Elena didn't move. She tapped twice on her smartwatch, activating a silent distress code. Priority Alpha internal alert used only in emergencies. Somewhere, dozens of miles away, red lights blinked in the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility. Her location was now live. Response time, 2 minutes. She took a breath. You're detaining a federal officer without cause, Officer Koenig. This is a violation of Title 18, Section 242 of the U.S. Code abuse under color of law. He reached for the door handle and yanked it open. Out now. Still, she didn't resist. She stepped out slowly, hands visible, movements transparent. And that's when he shoved her hard against the SUV. Her badge slipped from her hand and skidded across the asphalt. Koenig pressed her chest to the hot metal, his handcuffs clicking open. You think that badge means anything? He barked, grinding his knee into her back. Out here, I'm the damn law. Elena winced as her shoulder hit the doorframe, but said nothing. She saw the glint of a phone camera in the distance. A young man across the road, maybe a student, was filming. Good. Koenig raised his gun, pressing it to her temple. Don't move. 100 seconds. The roar of engines echoed in the distance. Then, tires screeched. 4 black tactical SUVs appeared, surrounding them in a blur. Helicopter blades thundered above. Federal agents. Drop your weapon. Koenig froze. The gun in his hand trembled. A second voice, female, commanding, absolute, rang out. Darren Koenig, you are under federal investigation. Drop the weapon now. He turned, stunned, and met the eyes of Special Agent Commander Nia Ellison, head of Internal Affairs Tactical Response. Kunis Fakada clicked. He looked back at Elena, who hadn't flinched. She stood, calm, collected, the barrel still at her head, but her spirit unbroken. She stared him down. "You're done." A moment passed. Then another. Kunis Finger sleckend. The gun fell to the ground with a clatter. Agents swarmed. He was cuffed, searched, disarmed, and read his rights something he hadn't given her. Elena exhaled for the first time in 2 minutes. 2 minutes that had revealed the sickness of a system too often allowed to rot from within. Later that night, in a secure government facility, she watched as analysts pulled up his record. Complaint after complaint buried. Incidents erased. Internal files falsified. And names too many names who had once reported him and been ignored. It wasn't just Koenig. It was the network around him. A web of secrecy. But that was over now. The next morning, the live stream captured by the student Javier Torres went viral. 10 million views in 8 hours. The nation watched in disbelief as an unarmed black woman was held at gunpoint until justice quite literally landed from the sky. The hashtag 2 minutes trended globally. Protests didn't erupt in fire but in silence. 2-minute moments of stillness held in classrooms, office buildings, police stations. A new movement was born. The Charleston Police Department scrambled. PR teams drafted lies. Officials panicked. But the truth had been seen. Koenig's arrest led to suspensions, then indictments. The FBI's ethics task force expanded their inquiry. Within weeks, 5 more officers were terminated. 2 supervisors resigned. The mayor ordered a full, independent audit of police misconduct. Elena didn't celebrate. She went back to work, reviewing every complaint, reopening every case, tracking every dollar. Because justice isn't just a moment. It's a fight. And sometimes all it takes is 2 minutes and the will to stand unshaken in the face of unchecked power. She stood by her window that evening, the city lights glowing below. Somewhere, another officer might be making the same mistake. Somewhere, another citizen might face the same danger. But this time, they wouldn't be alone. She made sure of that.